Welcome back, everybody, to Sacramento Kings, MyNBA franchise here on the channel. We're back. I hope you enjoyed that first video. If you haven't seen that yet, go watch it, and then come back and watch this one. But we come in here, we simmed a little bit here, and we give up a dunk right away. Yeah. But we've simmed a little bit here, taking on this Wizards team. They do have Trae Young. Part of the reason why I wanted to do this, and I believe it's about a couple weeks before the deadline this game is. So it's kind of one of those situations where we can probably get one last look at this team against like another bad team, and I kind of fail on the sticks right there, give him a pretty easy look. I think a little too fancy with the shot, but either way, he gets a miss, and we come back here, three-pointer for Sabonis, who is a guy we're looking to move. We are 100% looking to move Sabonis here. You know what I mean? I just think not a guy that, is long for us. Zach LaVine, another guy, his name is always kind of in trade rumors because he's Zach LaVine. Like, he's not a guy that you probably build around. And if he's like your second best player or your first best player, there's some issues, right? Like, you're probably not in a position to compete. This Wizards team, they have some interesting young players, and you see them right there hitting that three. And Trae Young, it's interesting how Trae's hits a three right there. His play has really, I don't know. All these guys are supposed to be like the next generation of stars. I feel like they just haven't panned out, right? Trae Young, Zion, Ja, all these guys were supposed to be like the next up. And it feels like it hasn't happened. Thank God for Anthony Edwards, but we're trailing a little bit here. Fast break opportunity here. Zach LaVine. We're going to kick it to DeRozan, who, doesn't do much for me. Honestly, DeRozan is definitely another guy that we are looking to trade. The three best players on this team, I'm looking to move, potentially, if the right offer's there. And we can maybe find some players who are a little bit younger, right? We can find some guys who are, 4 years younger, and then Sabonis moving screen right there. Fantastic stuff from Sabonis. So we come back here, we get Malik Monk on a screen, and he's able to hit a three. That looked like a two, but they called it a three, so I'll take it. Trae Young, pull up jumper right there. Can't get the fall in, and trying to push the fast break here, and Precious Achiuwa slams that one down. Very nice, honestly, the big man in transition. I really wish the AI would remember the 2K AI. Like, they don't remember that, like, this. It's the modern NBA. Almost everyone on the floor can push the ball up the court now. As we give up another three to Trae Young. And, I hope Trae kind of refines his shot a little bit in Washington. Just because I think Trae, when he is playing at his best, is a very exciting player. I hope he can do that. I hope he can find that again, because I think he's a good player when he can, right? Again, exciting. You want these guys to be exciting, and Alex Sarr hits a three. I don't know about that. I'm now Googling Alex Sarr, 3-point percentage, but we come back, we get a shot right there, and we get that one to go in, and, I guess that is part of his game that is improving, but we come back with Malik Monk. Well, I guess he must not be improving because he misses that shot, which is very disappointing. But ball goes out of bounds right there. We get an opportunity to kind of try to stay in this game, right? That's what we want to do. We want to stay in this game. We want to keep fighting and, not let them get away from us right now. Schroeder driving, Achiuwa layup. Wish he would dunk that, honestly. That's one of the weird things about, I feel like one of those weird things about 2K where there's something wrong with the dunk tendency where guys just don't dunk enough, and they're always going for like these weird layups that feels like they're intended to get blocked. But Westbrook drives through really the entire Washington Wizards defense right there, and Young now pulls for three. Can't hit that one. He'll miss them occasionally, Or granted, really, when you take as many as he does, you're bound to miss some. We attack the basket, get the foul call right there, and, as much as I appreciate Westbrook's ability to get to the line, the free throw shooting is just not good enough, honestly, because it feels like, but this time he hits both, right? But there's other times where we go down there, you know, we get him on the line, and then he misses both of them, or just hits one of them. And at that point, that's a win for the defense. Honestly, that's a win for the other team. Another missed shot here leads to transition offense here for this Wizards team. This Bilal Coulibaly, just a young team that's still finding its way. And Sabonis gets that one to fall in. Really good stuff there from Sabonis. And it's a shame that I feel like we do have to trade him just because our timelines don't match up. If we can get him somewhere that is maybe contending and maybe has some other young talent that maybe they don't want anymore, I think that would be a good thing for us. This time he kind of pops out a little too far in that pick and pop. Doesn't allow us to really get a good shot. Kind of had to rush that one a little bit. And then the transitional defense is not where we need it to be. The rebounding isn't where we need it to be, and the transition stuff isn't really where we need it to be. I want us to be a little quicker up and down the court, but that time it does work. We're able to hit that shot. We have Dario Saric on here, and yeah, that's all I can say about Dario Saric. I mean, just, yeah, he's a player. He's an NBA player. Kind of terrible for us, honestly. I don't think he scored a bucket for us so far. We get blocked right there. We get our shit packed by Alex Sarr. And I hope Sarr turns out to be a really good player for the Wizards. I kind of want the Wizards to be good again. You know, it's kind of depressing seeing that team just be bad for so long. I think eventually, as Sarr gets another basket, once you see a team that just be bad, what feels like is for like ages, you kind of like, all right, can they like get it together and be good again? Like, why are they, you know what I mean? I think a part of that is Sarr for three. You know, I know he can hit those, but he's still at a point where I'm willing to let him shoot those. Like, I'm not too concerned about it. So we come back here, second quarter, Zach LaVine drives to the basket, gets that one up and in, and gets the foul call on Champagne. And that's his third of the game already, so I don't know. I kind of forgot. Like, yeah, Zach LaVine's like a great athlete, and we should use him in an attacking role probably a little bit more. Hits the free throw, take a 1-point lead right here. And they're going to push this ball up the court here. We have to watch the dribble, drive, penetration. They get it, and they get right to the rim. And I forgot, like, that's like the Zach LaVine. His athleticism was great, but as a defender, it still leaves a lot to be desired. That just kind of feels like a part of his game that just kind of never got there. But we do get an opportunity here with Zach LaVine, and we get a free run at the basket, and he can't cash in on the layup. Almost got there. Almost was able to make them pay for that lax defense, but Westbrook now going to drive, kicks it to LaVine. LaVine just pulls for three from the corner, able to hit that one. So, reservations from three for Zach LaVine, and we have a 2-point lead here. Now, you know, it's really tough guarding Trae Young. I usually try to let the CPU do that, but I tried taking up myself off ball, trying to get him, and very tough when he can dart around those screens. That's just kind of what he can do. We find Sabonis here. That was almost a bad pass, but we're able to get it, and he's able to get that layup. 41-40 here. Come back again. I believe this is Trey Johnson. Finds Champagne, and that looked like his foot was on the line. I don't know. Feels like they're not accurately calling some of these threes, but either way, it's a tie ball game. 43-43, fast break opportunity. We try getting the layup, we can't get it to fall in. Westbrook going to push this one up to Trae Young. Trae going to dribble around here. Going to find Alex Sarr. No one stays with him. And, you know, Trae Young dishing and assisting. You know, when you see Alex Sarr, when you really think about that, actually could be a really good pairing with Trae Young. But look at this. Extra pass right there to DeRozan. He hits the three right there. That would be like one of his few baskets in the game. Like I said, kind of just don't know what to do with him, honestly. And then Trae Young just hits that stupid shot right there. I really hope that's a guy he can stay healthy, find his mojo, and kind of help the Wizards be decent again. I mean, it's the Eastern Conference. We got to get the Eastern Conference back up and going, man. Like, any given time the past few years, there's like two teams that are like real contenders out of the East. That has got to get better. And, you know, we're giving up baskets again. Inside. can't get rebounds. I feel like that really hurts us. DeRozan for 3, hits it. That might be a second and only make of the game right there. I don't know. Fourth quarter, we're trailing by 1, 59-60, and we're going to run some plays. I don't run plays too often because, I feel like, we don't want to constantly run plays because I feel like it gets a little too cheesy once you find a good play. Just a pull-up jumper right there goes in, 64-59. Carrington able to make that shot, and Westbrook, and you know what? We are just going to try to pull for Monk here. Can he get it? Rims out. I mean, right now, it felt like there was this point in this fourth quarter where, again, transition defense, not where it needs to be. Just not what I want to see out of the transition defense. And that allows Marvin Bagley to get into a great position, get the pass, and get a shot up, and make 2 free throws. So, draws the foul, makes 2 free throws because we have poor transition defense. Now Monk going to pull from 3. That rims out. But here we go. Speaking of rebounding, there we go. Sabonis finally grows a spine and grabs a board. So I do appreciate that. Come back here. Precious. Not too many moves right there that I liked from him. We're going to try Malik Monk. Corner 3. Gets that one to fall. And here we are. Getting back in this game a little bit here. It didn't get too far away from us. We were able to kind of stay in it. Again, just stay in it close enough to where you can get a stop or 2, get a couple baskets, and you're right back in it. 67-64. Here's Maxime Renaud, who I don't plan on trading. 67-67 here. 6'7". Well, that is going to be 6'9". And just a great pass from Trae Young to Sarr. Again, like I said, transition defense just not good enough to contain a guy like Alexander Sarr. And we take another 3 here with Renaud. He can't make him pay. That was a wide open look, and we couldn't cash in. And Sarr, defensively, we have nothing for him. We have nothing for him, and that is really disappointing. And so hits the 2 free throws, and 72-67. So now dribble drive penetration, and going to just go in for the layup and can't get that one to fall in. So, again, that's what I'm talking about with Westbrook. And then we can't make any of the free throws right there. I mean, he has 8 assists on this game. He makes 1 of them. But, I wish he could have cashed in on the layup and potentially got the 3-point play. And then Trae Young, well, anytime he passes half court, it feels like he can always get the 3-point play. So 75-68, we got to get a bucket here, I feel like. And again, just trying something here. I'm just going to pull for 3, try to move, and we almost got that one to go in, but just couldn't do it here. So George now with the ball, going to find Trae Young. Shocked he didn't take the 3 right there. He had an open look, and then they go for the alley-oop, and we get a turnover here. And DeRozan going to drive. Going to find Keegan Murray, who I feel like we should try to feature more in the offense, but, whatever, we can't. Levine for 3. There we go, 71-75. Still 2 minutes left to go in this game, and we have got to get us. And again, just inside defense, man. We cannot do anything with Alexander Sarr. Just feel like defensively, we don't have really good centers, and that is going to be a problem in the Western Conference. There's a guy called Wembanyama. But there's another big 3 right there from Sabonis. Great offensive game. Defense, again, kind of leaves a little bit to be desired at times, I feel like. And there we go. Johnson drives, and we jump. He gets us in the air, gets a foul. And this is starting to look really tough here. But still plenty of time. He does make the first free throw. And Trae Johnson hasn't been able to cash in from 3 so far in this game. So I guess that's a positive. If we're looking for him, but he makes both free throws, and that's not good. That makes it a 5-point game, so we got to go quick here, honestly. We got to speed this thing up. We go for the layup, maybe a little too quick. Maybe should have been more patient, but you know what? You just got to go for it, I feel sometimes. Pedal to the metal. But Trae Johnson driving, kicks to Young, cashes in for 3. And that looks like that should be your dagger, right? I mean, this point in the game, that should be it. We come back, you know what, let's get the ball to Zach LaVine. Let's just drive by these guys. He can do that, and he does it right there. Zach LaVine, he has the athleticism just to put his head down, drive into the teeth of the defense, and make them pay for not being able to, stonewall him. Johnson pulls up right there, can't get the fall. Westbrook rebound. We're going to back to LaVine again. We're just going to push this thing up the court, and LaVine, no one there. Slams it down, gets up to 17 points here, and now we're kind of making this a game again. Under a minute left here. Good an okay screen. Doesn't free up Johnson too much. Sarr gets inside here, but it's not easy for him. And Sabonis D's him up right there. Good stuff. LaVine now driving. Just going to go for the layup again. Can't get it, but he does get the foul call. There we go. We get the foul call right there, and he can't make that free throw. Not what I want to see. So we'll come back again. Makes one of them. Okay. 79. 82. Coming back again here. Johnson with the ball in his hands. I'm a little shocked about it's not Trae Young with the ball in his hands. Goes up for the three again. Sabonis with the rebound. Zach LaVine going to try to drive here. Has some space, but decides not. We decide not to. We decide to slow it down a little bit here. We have an opportunity here. DeRozan for three. Can't cash in. We got to foul him now. Tried letting DeRozan be the GOAT, and he couldn't do it. Trae Young free throws here. Under 20 seconds left. This is going to be pretty tricky to do. We have got to get a basket here, and we got to get a missed. We got to get a missed free throw. LaVine just going to pull from three. He's open. Can't get it. Murray with the rebound. We kick it back to LaVine. Bounce pass three. That one's good. 82-83 right here. 4.3 left to go. So they have to inbound the ball. We have to foul them right away. And we got to hope they miss one of these. At least one. Well, I mean, we could go for the tie, but I want to go for the win. We got to hope they can miss at least one of these right here to give us a shot to have a shot at a go-ahead basket. That's what we want. We want to be able to just have the go-ahead basket here. Trae Johnson at the line. He's been okay at the line. Hasn't been that shaky. But Johnson, first one is up. And it rims out. So that gives us a shot to win this game here. Go down here. If they make this one, we can call a timeout, inbound the ball at half court on the other side of the court, and go for the win here. 84-82, and we're going for the win. We are going for a three here. We're not going to try to get too cute. This is going to be a catch-and-shoot opportunity. And who's led us this entire fourth quarter? Zach LaVine. We're going to get the ball to LaVine. He pulls from three. Wide open LaVine, and that goes in. 85-84, 1.4 seconds left to go. With 2 minutes to go, this was almost a 10-point game. And now we have a 1-point lead. Can we hold on and steal one from this Wizards team here? And they get it to I believe that's Keontae George or Keyshawn George. I forget. I'm sorry. He misses it. Again, they did not go to Trae Young down the stretch here. And I think it cost them a win. But we still went away from them 85-84. What a game. Honestly. That was a lot of fun, I'm going to say. I had a lot of fun with this. Trae Young, 20 points. Trae Johnson, 19 points. Alex Sarr, 26. And, yeah, game on the line, they went to George, who hadn't scored a single bucket all game. But then Sabonis with 30 and 11. Zach LaVine with 24. And then, not much scoring from anyone else. Westbrook with 5, but 10 assists. You see down there, Dennis Schroeder, 2 points, but 8 assists. Keegan Murray, not much scoring, but 3 assists. So a lot of assisting for this team, and that's kind of when you're a team like this, I feel like a lot of your offense has to be based on assists. So that's a good win. Probably hurts our draft position a little bit in the lottery. But Zach LaVine, say a look here at his fourth quarter production, because that is when Zach LaVine came alive. Second half, 19 points, but fourth quarter alone, 14 points, 3 of 5 from 3. Just put his head down and just attacked, went after it, and just put the team on his back. Game-winning shot right there with a few seconds left. So we're simulating through here, and now it is time for us to begin deciding what are we going to do here with the trade deadline. Now, it's not exactly the trade deadline, it's about the day before, but we have a lot to get into with this. We have multiple players who I think we can move off of. And Paul George is not a guy that we're going to bring in. Miles Turner could be interesting, but I don't think the Bucks would actually do that. Again, on this channel, we're going to be like semi-realistic, not fully, not all the way. We're definitely not going to trade for Amen Thompson. I don't think they would trade him, but but we're looking around, and what I want at the very least is an additional first. Now, I don't want Terry Rozier. That isn't expiring, but I don't want Terry Rozier. That is not something I really want on this team. Unless some gambling sponsor wants to come up and give me some money, then gambling is awesome and great and super cool, and everyone should do it if you're of legal age to gamble, wherever you live. But Terry Rozier would not be joining us. So we're looking around here, and I looked up some kind of trade ideas, guys who could be on the block in real life, and a name that kept popping up was Michael Porter Jr. Now, he has 2 years left on the deal. Granted, it's this year and next year, so it's about a year and a half. But I'm interested in acquiring Michael Porter Jr. I think that's a guy that we can have long-term on this team. So we looked through here, and the trade I came up with was us giving up 2 future firsts and some throw-in guys. Nothing all that interesting, but just throwing in some guys to kind of make the money work. And, looking around here, who do we want to kind of make this work? And can't trade for two-way guys. We don't want Tyrese Martin. Jalen Wilson, we could give him a shot, see what he has. And, we still have a trade exception. We still have to find something else here. So we're going to remove something here from this trade. We're going to remove that from the trade. And we are trading 2 future firsts here, both unprotected. I probably should have put protections on these picks, but I don't really mind trading those away because I don't expect us to necessarily need those picks in the future. We are going to hit up the Wizards, the team that we just played, and we still need to clear some salary here from us. And the way we're going to do that is a guy I talked about, I have enjoyed using, but is 37 years old. And that's going to be Russell Westbrook. We're going to ship him to Washington. And, we have a trade exception that's going to be created for this trade. We're going to add that exception, and then we're going to continue. And we do make that trade. So it's 2 firsts, DeMar DeRozan, Russell Westbrook to the Wizards, DeMar DeRozan to the Nets, and we get Michael Porter Jr. here. So 27-year-old player, does have some injury concerns, but he's been able to stay on the court and just kind of be a bucket. And I think if he can kind of refine some of that form, I think in real life, if that foot, I believe he has drop foot, and from his I believe it's from having spinal surgeries, I believe some nerve damage. But, if that comes back fully and he's good to go, then I think he can still have a very long, productive career as a very good player. I hope that can be with us. Now, we look through these Zach LaVine trades, and just nothing stands out. I don't really want Miles Turner. I don't think the Celtics would trade Anthony Simmons, and also he only has 1 year left on the deal. So that's probably not going to work for us. We're still looking around. Miles Bridges, no thanks. But we do want to. I'm interested in a guy who is interested in fighting, but he fights, tries to fight other men. So we're cool with that. So Asir Thompson, that could be interesting. But Tobias Harris, I think, is who we kind of want. We try to actually just see if we can get Ron Holland out of this deal. I kind of wish I didn't trade both of those first, because I think if we would have kept at least one of them, I think we actually could have probably made this work with Ron Holland. I say, can we get a pick from them at all? We do add in an unprotected 2026 first, and at this point, I'm probably getting a little too greedy, but I do try to fill up. Can we get another first from them? No. So they're pretty much tapped out on first. They can really only trade that 2026 first. I try to see if I can get a second out of them with the one and Ron Holland. This is probably way too much what I'm asking for, because each time I do a trade, everyone wants our pick. Everyone wants our 2026 first. I'm not interested in doing that. So we work this trade back a little bit here, and it ends up Isaiah Stewart, Tobias Harris. They're still not interested. I would have no problem trading Dennis Schroeder, but I'm not doing some sort of pick swap with our 2026 first. So we back out of that again. Come back again now. Rebuild this trade back up. I do want to do this deal with the Pistons, but we're going to change our asking, right? But we are going to hit up the Raptors a little bit here. Emmanuel quickly, that would be really interesting, but he's injured and we can't trade for him. We look through here, Grady Dick. That could be interesting. If we could develop that 3-pointer for him, but Brandon Ingram, RJ Barrett could be the guy that we want here. Still 2 years left in that deal. He's still only 25 years old, which is insane because I feel like he's been in the league for like a decade, and he's only 25. These guys need to start staying in college, I think, personally. So we put in RJ Barrett here, and then there's nothing else that I really want that I think it would be real. I guess Jakob Portal. We do need another big, but I don't know. We come through here, we look around here, see what else we can move, and Drew Eubanks, I guess we could do that. Do they have any picks for us that we want? We look through 2026 unprotected. We could ask for this. Another situation where if I still had those additional firsts that I traded for Michael Porter Jr., we probably could get a deal done without me having to throw in that 2026, do some sort of pick swap. I'm just not interested in doing that. We get down here to these 3 players, and then seeing if that could get it to work just straight up like that, and they're just not interested in doing it because it would put them under the amount of players. And again, they come back, and we get to this deal, which would be Dario Saric, Jamison Battle, and at this point, I'm like, I'm just kind of... it's not that I don't want to give up these players. It's just that I feel like I'm taking on a little bit more than what I want. And I would like RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett would be a fun player to have, I feel. But at that point, it's like, just give me your pick. Look through here. Is there any other young players that I'm interested in? And the answer is really no. It's just... can I get some pick out of you? Can I get a 2027 unprotected one out of you with this? And, and then they still say no, and they come back, well, how about your 2026 first? It's just not going to work for me. And so at this point, we just kind of, redo the trade back down. And then I'm just thinking, you know what? I don't want to do this trade with the Raptors, really. I do try one last shot. Can we put a protection on it? If we put a top 3 protected, are they interested? And then they come back again, top 5 protected for the 2026 pick. I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. We're going to go back to a team that we originally tried doing this for at the start, and that's the Pistons. And you know what? Jaden Ivey probably sitting behind Cade Cunningham, and he's not going to get in front of Cade Cunningham. He's not going to get in front of Thompson, Isaiah Stewart. They probably want a big that could stretch the floor a little bit more than Isaiah Stewart can. And they do have a 2026 first. We do put a protection on it, top 10 protected pick. I'm pretty sure they're a team that's on their way to the playoffs anyways, so whatever. And then they're not that interested. I'm like, all right, well, at this point, can we throw in a couple seconds? Can that get the deal done? Well, no. Well, how about another second-round pick? Can we throw in a 2027 second-round pick? Can we get it done with that? They say no. So we come back again. Can we throw in one more? One from Charlotte. And they come back with us again and say, well, what about Devin Carter and Keon Ellis? Both 2 guys that I have no problem with getting rid of. Still with all the second-round picks. They add in Chaz Lanier. And at this point, I'm like, this deal seems good to me. I like the idea of maybe trying to bring back Jaden Ivey. We did just trade Westbrook. Ivey easily slots in as our new starting point guard. And you can kind of get a fresh start to kind of, make a team his own. And so we do that trade. And that's probably what we're going to leave it for at the deadline. Now, Zach LaVine could still get traded. I've stopped progressing up to this point. I'm going to think about it, see what I want to do. We are going to change Ivy here. He is going to be our starting one. I don't like the idea. I'm still old school, NBA where it's like, I feel like it's just 6'3". That's, that's like fringe being able to be a 2, in my opinion. Yeah, I don't like that. I feel like, the way the NBA is, you can definitely get switched onto guys who are way taller. I feel like at the 2, you want to at least be 6'4", 6'5", and up. 6'3", you're a 1. And he's going to be a 1 for us. He's going to play that position for us. So this is kind of a remade team. We have Michael Porter Jr. on here now. I think that's a pretty good move. Porter, I think, could eventually play at the 4 if we want to. We get Isaiah Stewart on this team as well. I'm pretty happy about that. He's a really good player. He has 6'8", 7'4" wingspan, is a very good pick and pop guy, good defense, can rebound pretty decently. So I have Maxime Reynaud. Didn't consider trading him at all. And that's the team as we kind of get to the deadline. So what do you guys think of the moves I made? Let me know down below. Did I probably give up too much for Porter Jr.? Probably did. But I don't really mind it because if we need to trade him at the deadline next season, we can probably get a decent haul back for him again. But I hope that we can maybe try to get him to sign an extension. LaVine might still end up traded. I'm just not 100% sure yet on what I want that deal to look like. I can probably put something together, but, the Bucks are interested, but I don't want Miles Turner, right? That's kind of one of the things with that. So we'll have to see when we get back. Maybe that's the end of our trading. Maybe we'll just keep LaVine, sign him to an extension, see if we can trade him next year. But thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.